Hey, what's up everybody on YouTube? My name is David Sharonic, and today I'm going to be doing a drawing of Transformers Armada Starscream. Alright, here we go. We're going to start drawing Starscream from Transformers Armada, which is absolutely one of my favorite versions of Starscream, but definitely probably one of my best in terms of character development, in my opinion. Transformers Armada Starscream was definitely one of those complicated characters that I was mostly rooting for in my childhood, as he was always like decisive between being bad or wanting to be good. I mostly like this version of Starscream because he was not created to be a coward or a complainer like all the other versions of Starscreams you see out there. He was actually a very noble warrior who always did his best to try and gain favor from his master, or Megatron, but would always fall short in Megatron's eye, as Megatron would always look down upon him, just like all the other just like all the rest of his men, the rest of the Decepticons that he led, as he was a very powerful leader and very intelligent. But every time Starscream would do the best that he can to gain favor of him, it would always fall short. But then eventually Starscream experienced how Optimus Prime treated his men and treated them with respect, and Starscream eventually wanted that same level of respect, but kept wanting it from the Decepticons and Megatron, which would eventually lead to Starscream being very power hungry when he attained the Star Saber, the one I'm currently drawing in his left hand, as I'm doing all the line art. As you can see in ink, I'm using a micron pen. But when he attained the Star Saber, he wielded that and his own sword, which is the one that I drew in his left hand. When he had both of them, he had this feeling like he had all this power to want to overthrow Megatron. Basically, not to go off tangent, but basically the Star Saber was basically made up of these three smaller bots called Minicons, just like all the other small bots from the show. They were all called Minicons, and that was basically the main premise of the show, where these small little robots that they would both be after the Decepticons on Autobots, and they would basically attach to the bigger robots, unlocking certain powers and abilities that they didn't have before. And it was basically based off the toy line, where the smaller robots you would collect and would attach to the bigger robots, and basically you could do like the gimmicks that they would come with, that the Minicons could unlock, but some of them would also combine into like some of these weapons, like the Star Saber. There was the Reculum Blaster, and then a shield called a Sky Bloom Shield, which were very powerful weapons once the Minicons would combine into them. But anyway, so when Starscream had the Star Saber in his own sword and had this power that he had, while also being very power hungry, he tried to use this to overthrow Megatron, because he thought with all of his experience that he shortly gained from being with the Autobots on Optimus Prime and with Megatron, he felt like that he could overthrow him and become the leader of the Decepticons. But every attempt that he had, whether he faced Megatron in combat or tried to use other ways to overthrow him, he would easily be shot down or be defeated by Megatron, since Megatron is easily superior in combat in terms of skills, knowledge, and everything when it comes to combat. And this would just even further push Starscream to be this very complicated, decisive character of himself. But for some reason, as a kid, this character struck to me, even up to the point where he decided to basically commit suicide in a way, as he decided to face Megatron one last time in a way to try eventually in the show have Megatron and Optimus Prime faced a much bigger threat, which was Unicron. And this led to Starscream's demise, which as a kid really shattered, really shattered my little heart at 6 years old. It's kind of the same feeling that the 80s kids that grew up with the original Transformers, and then when they eventually watched the original 1986 movie and saw Optimus Prime die, it was probably a very similar feeling that I probably had with this version of Starscream, as both characters are very complicated in their own right, even though Optimus Prime was this very noble warrior that everyone looked up to, where Starscream was just this very complicated character trying to figure himself out. And as a kid, that is kind of very relatable. As a kid, you're kind of doing that yourself. Alright, anyways, though, I'm basically finished with the line art, as you can tell. Now I'm basically doing all the blacks here, the thicker shadows. This is absolutely my favorite part of the drawing, but one of my biggest influences when it comes to drawing in this style, as you can see, is James Reyes, the box office artist, who is one of my absolutely favorite artists and huge influences when it comes to drawing robots and Transformers. I basically started watching James Reyes back in late 2016, like November, and early 2017, and has been a fan. I've been a fan ever since, and he's where I basically got the style here of blocking and all the shadows like I am, based off of using the light source that I'm using. The light source I'm using is coming from the top left of the character and aiming down at him. But my favorite part of inking this, drawing this way and inking this way, is just trying to figure out where all the dark shadows are basically going to be, and trying to figure them out and just filling them in is one of my favorite parts of drawing Transformers and robots like this, because it's different than drawing, say, like a superhero, because you gotta think about like this, the perspective, how one shape is going to affect another based off of the light source. So definitely one of my favorite aspects of drawing Transformers. And this is absolutely my second drawing or video that I've done here on YouTube. My first one is of Hot Shot. If you want to check that video out. There's no voiceover, as I was just trying to do my first video. Anyways, so that's basically it here. And here is to look at the total finished drawing of Starscream. And there you guys have it. That was basically my drawing of Transformers Armada Starscream. And if you would like a further look at the drawing I did today, please check out my Instagram page as well as my Facebook. The links will be down in the video description, where you will get a further look at the drawing you've seen today. And if you guys like this video, go ahead and click on the like button, or at least smash it to pieces. And leave a comment down below what you guys thought about this video. And please subscribe to this channel if you guys would like to see more videos like this. But other than that, if you guys also want to further support this channel, you can do so by picking up my very first comic that I did very recently, called Twister: A New Awakening, issue number 1. There will be a link down in the video description to my eBay store where you can pick up you a copy of this. Other than that, though, I thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll catch you guys all next time.